Welcome to the Jeremy and Andy Talk Movies podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Andy.
And Andy, I'm just curious, has it ever bothered you being typecast as a movie guy?
Um, no, I wear that badge with honor.
Yeah, I think I do as well.
Yeah.
And we hear typecasting and we tend to think negative connotation, but I think that you've embraced it. I think I've embraced it. And we certainly know Jason Statham has embraced it, being
Yes.
typecast as Jason Statham in pretty much all of his movies.
Yeah, at this point, his character's name in the movies just needs to be Jason Statham.
Yeah, which honestly, they could very well be in most movies, and I wouldn't remember to tell you otherwise.
Oh, no, no. Yeah.
Yeah. This week we are talking about the new Jason Statham movie, and this one is called Mutiny. This is the second Jason Statham movie to come out this year. The first one was Shelter,
Yeah.
in which he also plays Jason Statham.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that movie already came out this year. I was like, oh, we get about one of these a year. Or actually, we've been getting about maybe two of these a year. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got a Working Man and Beekeeper, and he stays busy. We'll just put it that way.
He does. He's not struggling for work.
No, and we mentioned this. I think we mentioned this in our last episode when we were talking about doing this episode. He really is sort of the last man standing, making these old school action movies where it's like, hey, it's just gonna be I'm a bad guy or I'm the good guy. Here's some bad guys. I'm gonna have to fight them.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I'll hold off on some thoughts till we get a little deeper.
Yeah. All right. So I'll give my brief summary, and then we'll talk about whether or not we thought Mutiny was good. So, after his boss is murdered on the night he is selling his shipping business, Cole Reed boards a container ship where he discovers that the crew is involved in human trafficking, and now he's going to save the victims and get his revenge by turning the ship into his battleground.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Eddie. Andy, was Mutiny good?
Okay, Jeremy, so here's the deal. I have several emotions I'm feeling right now, and I'm hoping you can maybe help me walk through these emotions. But you didn't know that's how this was going to start, did you?
I did not think this was going to be an emotional journey, but I can't
This is
wait.
an emotional journey, so come with me, please. Emotion number one is I'm happy that movies like this exist because I think we
Okay.
need movies like this. We've talked about it a lot. We both have a love and an affinity for these 80s action movies. And like you said, it's dying for whatever reason. And Jason Statham does feel like the last man standing, and he's kind of like carrying the flag for these. So I'm happy that these movies exist. Emotion number two is that I'm a little disappointed in this movie because it's a conflicted disappointment, though. Because on one hand, this kind of does give me what I want from these movies. On the other hand, it just doesn't quite have, it feels like it's just not up to par for like the Commando and Cobra, which are two of the ones that we talk about a lot. And we can get into the reasons why it's not quite as good. And then my third emotion is just fear that the Commandos and Cobra's era is just dead. And I'm really worried about that because I think, like I said, we need those movies. And when my kids are my age, like Ryan and Mitt are my age, they're not going to be able to go be like, dude, Commando. They're not going to have their Commando, I don't feel like. And that really, really causes me fear and duress. So that's my emotional journey. I never answered your question. This movie's fine. Like, it kind of delivered what I wanted, but yet also I was like, why are we overcomplicating this? That was the annoying part, which sounds ridiculous to say about the movie Mutiny with Jason Statham, but I just want a little bit more straightforward, like Commando and stuff. So I'm so sorry for talking so much. Thank you for coming on this emotional journey with me.
No, I think I can. I think I can relate to everything that you're saying. And just the quick answer for mine was, yeah, it's a decent throwaway action flick.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought the action was fairly decent.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the telltale sign for me is when they get into those hand-to-hand fights, like how much effort did they really put into the choreography. This isn't great by any stretch of it. You're not gonna be like, oh, you have to see the fights in Mutiny,
Right.
but they were pretty well done. And I was like, okay, they're not like just phoning it in. What this movie really lacked was personality.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're gonna reference the fact that, I mean, this movie in its marketing refers to it being kind of like Die Hard on a boat. And there's a lot of movies, we've talked about this before, since Die Hard, that have used that whole it's Die Hard in a or on a premise.
Mhm.
And I was thinking back about it. I was like, why is Die Hard so much better than a movie like Mutiny? And you could just easily go like, well, everything. But I think
Yeah.
the real thing is like just the humor in Die Hard. Die
Yeah.
Hard had so much personality. There's like it was not a comedy, obviously, but there's a lot of humor. There's a lot of jokes. There's a lot of punches. Just the John McClane as a character has a lot of personality. Hans Gruber, of course, is a very great personality as a villain. And in this movie, it's like, again, tell me three things about the villain in this movie. Heck, tell me three things about the hero in this movie.
Hmm.
And all of it's just so personalityless that even though like the action's decent, it just kind of the whole thing ends up feeling very bland and forgettable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like to your Die Hard point. Like Die Hard's 1988, and like you said, Die Hard. You can go John McClane, Hans Gruber, Argyle, the limo driver, your personal hero Ellis. Like he's got a lot of personality. Like Holly Gennaro's got personality. Like there's five people I just named. Theo, like the one criminal that's always snacking.
Yeah.
Or no, he's not snacking. There's also
He's
the criminal that snacks.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Yeah, they've
like
all got personality.
I just named seven people from Die Hard with some personality traits, and yeah, that's a big problem here in this movie.
Yes, it is. So so that's that's so funny. I was going to try to do a Theo impression, but I just don't think that's a good idea. I'm not going to do that.
No, okay, fair enough. Moving on.
Yeah. And I was going to do an Ellis impression, so that's also not a good idea. I don't have any cocaine
It's not.
around anyway, so usually don't. So yeah, I think as I'm thinking about this movie and like if you just let the bad guy ham it up a little,
Hmm.
like that's really the thing that I think we're missing from like a lot of, again, you go back to Commando, Bennett is a villain who's like
It's ridiculous.
he is like, I'm gonna ham this thing up as much as possible, like
Yeah.
the thing that people are going to remember about this movie is that one, I am clearly no physical match for Arnold Schwarzenegger because I have no visible muscle on my body, and two, I am like really cheesing up this villain role. So in this one, yeah, again, the villain is like, again, I can't tell you anything about him. Was he really tough and cool? Not really. Did he have a sense of humor? No. Did he seem really smart? I don't know. Like he just literally is a blank slate character in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, his name in this movie could just be like villain a villain. Like that could be his name.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. There was a lot that I was sitting there going like, there's a lot of just even action movie cliches. I'm like, just give me something. Give me the, his his right hand man henchman who's like, is gonna be the toughest guy for our hero to beat. Like
Right.
that sort of thing. Even just like that, where it's like there's none of that. And Jason Statham, it's really is kind of an anticlimactic movie where you're just like, not to spoil it, but I guess I'm about to spoil.
It might have.
You know what's going to happen in this movie. Like it's not a hard movie
Yeah.
to figure out what's going to happen. But he fights his way through the crew, and then all of a sudden he's like, and then he's fighting the captain, and then he beats him, and it's like, and we're done. And it's just like, oh, okay, we were there. I guess it was time.
Yeah. That's the thing. I never would have thought we'd have such a deep conversation about this movie. But yeah, it's like, and I spend the movie, like I said, I'm of course joking, but I am conflicted because it's like cool, like Jason Statham is shooting guys with harpoon guns, and that's kind of what I want out of a movie like this. But like you said, yeah, there's just something missing that's not. There's a piece to the puzzle that's not there, that was there in the Commando and the Cobra days, and even The Rock, Con Air, some of these Nick Cage action movies they did, like, and I'm not saying that every one of these new action movies now needs to have some kind of wacky character or needs to have Nick Cage just out of his mind like he is in some of those movies. But yeah, you need, I think you nailed it. Like the missing ingredient is probably just some personality. You got to have some kind of personality because there's John Wick and there's prestige action and there's all this different stuff that is being filmed. So like that's just leaving a space for like let's just go crazy. Like let's have a Bennett, like you said, like who's got a ridiculous metal vest on and it looks like he's made out of uncooked dough because he's just like saggy and okay, like you and I definitely have more muscle than Bennett did, and
Yeah.
we don't get that here. And also too, like you know, it's also a balance. Like Commando. We're gonna just talk about Commando a ton. Like it's kind of heavy in the sense that like they kidnap his daughter, but like now these movies, I think a lot of times they feel like they have to throw in some kind of I don't even know if message is the right word, but like so a lot of the you
Maybe
know
like
the
topical thing. It's something
yeah,
topical.
so like a lot of what's pushing the plot of this movie is like human trafficking, which is of course like a relevant, terrible, awful thing. But I don't know that we always need some kind of like topical, horrible thing happening in the real world to push these action movies forward. Because the appeal of like a Cobra or a Commando is you're kind of just escaping and you're shutting your brain off, and you don't need that reminder of like terrible real world stuff going on.
Right. Yeah. Uh, except, I mean, Cobra doesn't remind you of like the Doomsday cult that gets together and clanks knives and or
I mean,
whatever
yeah, the
size.
playing of the axes.
Yeah, clanking the axes, and then yeah, um, you don't want to be reminded of that real world terror for sure.
I just try to block. That's such a
In Central
bad part of
Illinois,
life
that
right
happens
now.
surprisingly often. Uh,
Yeah,
the thing that really upsets me about the lack of personality is, even though yes, Statham has been typecast into this like thing that does kind of work for him, I think Statham can be charming and funny. So I don't know
yeah,
why he's been limited to always the quiet, stoic roles.
hmm
Like that fits Keanu. Keanu's like just plays so cool and like does a lot with very little. And not that Statham isn't playing it cool and doesn't do well at this stoic, quiet guy, but like I think he can be witty and funny and like he can deliver lines well. He can play pretty smart, and so I don't know why they just never let him do that. Why they never let him have more personality in these parts, because I think he can.
I absolutely think he can. He's in a, and I forget the name of the movie, but he's in a movie with Melissa McCarthy. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? It's some kind of like spy type comedy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I'll look it up. Is it called?
Yeah,
Is it? Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Why it might just be called
yeah. And
Spy.
so just randomly this week on my Instagram reels, it was the outtakes of that movie, and it Statham like being really funny and like improvising some stuff. Did you find it?
Yeah, is it Spy? Is it just called Spy? It doesn't have
That's probably what it is? Yeah, and I think isn't Rose Byrne in it also?
Rose Byrne is in it. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Is Melissa McCarthy in that movie? Am I thinking
yeah.
of the
She's
right
the lead
thing?
of the movie. I'm just being thrown
Okay,
off because
yeah.
I'm not seeing Statham's name, but I'm like pretty sure he's in it with her.
I'm positive he's in it. Yeah. Anyway, I saw some outtakes on my Instagram reels, and it was
Yeah,
Statham. Just he was cracking people up. He was improvising some stuff, and even if he wasn't doing anything, like Melissa McCarthy would maybe improv something, and he would just react. He would have this big smile on his face and laugh. And it's like this guy's got some personality.
he does. And we always go back to Snatch, which was like the
Hmm
first sort of breakout role
Yeah.
for him. He's not playing the tough guy at all. He's playing like the everyday guy that you're supposed to connect to as an audience member,
Yes.
but he's hilarious in that. Of course, more of that sort of British humor. It's very dry, but he's funny in it. And then you think
Yeah.
of a movie like The Italian Job, where he's part of a crew, but he's supposed to be like sort of the charming guy in that one. And of
Yeah.
course, it's got the great Seth Green scene where he's doing the impression of he's
Yeah.
doing the voiceover while he's talking to that girl, and
Yeah.
it's a good scene. But it's like, yeah, Statham can be that guy. Like we should let him be that more often, where he has personality and charm.
Yeah, they absolutely should. And you can still be BA. Like that's fine. You don't have to give that up. But like you can kind of intertwine all of that stuff together. And like like The Rock kind of does it, in his movies, but like I'd say like and again, it always probably sounds like we don't like The Rock on this podcast, but I do. Statham's probably just a probably better actor than The Rock. So it's like if The Rock can kind of incorporate all this stuff, Statham can too. So yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to see, if he's going to keep doing this, which I hope he does. Honestly, like yeah, let's. We know like you're super serious and you're quiet, you're stoic, and you're a man on a mission, and like we know that man. Like now give us a little bit more.
Yeah. Um, obviously I'm not ever going to say that Statham is Denzel, because Denzel is
Sure, sure,
whole,
sure.
he's like top of the mountain as far as actors go, and natural charisma and charm. But just think of a movie like Man on Fire.
Hmm.
Could Statham have his own version of Man on Fire? Yeah, and like get to have a little more personality, get to be a little more and yeah, I think he could do that movie. It wouldn't probably be as good as Denzel, but it'd be better than most of the movies he's doing. So he's got to
Hmm.
find that balance.
I mean, don't hear me say this. Don't hear me wrong. Like I think Statham could even do a little bit of what like Bruce Willis does in Die Hard. Not saying he's going to be as good as Bruce Willis, but like I'm just thinking of that scene when Bruce Willis is in the van. And he lights his light. Like, come out to the coast. We'll have a few laughs. Like I think Statham could pull some of that stuff off.
Yeah,
I do.
for sure. Yep, he could definitely say "Yippee ki yay!" Complete the rest of the line
He could
yourself.
do it,
Yeah,
and
he could do it.
so I'm so glad you said that because I also wanted to bring this up too. Is it possible that the easiest answer is that some of these action movies now are just missing cool catchphrases like these guys used to have in the 80s?
For sure. I think people became too aware of things. And I think it's probably also the I love those guys, but the cinema sins effect on
Yes.
movies where people are like afraid to do things that are going to be easily made fun of if they do it. And it's like sometimes you just got to embrace, yeah, you're going to do some things and people are going to make fun of it, but it's also what makes your movie fun.
I swear to you, I've thought about this a ton. I think that's why Commando, Cobra, even some Van Damme stuff from the 80s and 90s. I think that's why it's so much better and so much more rewatchable now because they didn't live in this, meme GIF era where they were so afraid of everything they do to be immortalized on the internet and then constantly be made fun of. You just did not care back then. So you were just more fearless and willing to go for it and take these big, stupid risks.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Uh,
I don't think you're ever going to find a performance now like another good example is John Malkovich in Con Air. Like he's literally holding a gun to a stuffed bunny, stop where the bunny gets it or whatever he says. Like I don't think anyone would have the fearlessness to do that right now.
yeah. Uh, there definitely seems to be like a chasm between movies that are really trying and movies that are like completely over the top ridiculous. I mean, you basically have to be like your Sharknadoes before you start getting into the level of
Hmm.
ridiculous that we're kind of talking about. And it's like the chasm's just grown so big between those two, and it used to be. I mean, they just used to overlap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I think we need to go back to a little bit of like, you know what? I'm just gonna try this joke. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna hold a gun to this stuffed animal on an airplane and see if it works. I think we're missing that now. And then, like you said, I'm not saying we go full like Sharknado,
Hmm.
but somewhere there's a little bit of a middle ground where we don't always just have to be ultra serious.
Yeah, and it helps having a guy like Malkovich be the one to deliver that line. Somebody who is considered like a serious actor, but is a bit odd and quirky in his own right.
Hmm.
And someone like that can really sell the line of like, I'm playing a psycho villain who's going to hold up a bunny rabbit, a stuffed bunny
Yeah.
rabbit, and hold a gun to it. Uh, which is, yeah, and it becomes a great movie moment. Um, so just one other quick aside I wanted to have about this movie is just the second lead is essentially Annabelle Wallace plays it. It's a lady in the movie who, I mean, again, this is sort of a movie convention where she's forced to be the third mate on this ship last minute, and
Sure.
she's not part of the normal crew. So of course, all the rest of the crew is bad, but she's going to end up being good and helping out Jason Statham.
Yeah.
The reason that this was interesting to me is I just recently started watching the show Peaky Blinders,
Hmm.
and she's in the show, and like particularly the first season, she comes on, and I'm like, who is this? Like, she looks vaguely familiar, but I don't know her. Like, this girl's got something. I'm surprised I don't know her. She didn't become a bigger deal. And I look up her IMDb, and I'm like, oh, she's the girl who was in the Tom Cruise Mummy movie that just didn't take off, and I think she was one of the sort of casualties of that. Like, Tom Cruise is obviously so big, it was
Yeah.
a dud, but he survived it. I don't think she survived it as well. And now here she is showing up as the second lead in another generic Jason Statham action movie. And I don't know. I was like feeling bad for her while I was watching her because she's not a bad actress. She's got something, some charisma to her, and she's got nothing to do either in this movie, really. They let her have some good moments as character. They made her a cool character who wasn't just like a damsel in distress. She was very capable herself, but again, a character I'm not going to remember by the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They're just not doing as well anymore. I agree with everything you said. Like a great example of this working would be like Steven Seagal's Under Siege, where his like he ends up with like what's her name? Erica Laniak as his sidekick, and she's
What a pull, man.
right. And of course, like it's ridiculous, but like they made that work. Like the idea of like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Like they used to do that way better too, and that's also something that's missing. Is they just don't quite, like I said, they don't quite connect all these puzzle pieces. But yeah, she's. I'm like you kind of feel bad for her because she shows some glimpses of stuff, but she just doesn't have a whole lot to do.
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess we've kind of made the point, but I just wanted to say it. Like, obviously, we hope Statham keeps making these action movies. I was going to ask early. Like my plan was last, like, what should Jason Statham do next? And I guess we've basically talked about it. Like, he just got to find something that lets him do a little more. And I don't think it's I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth because I really respect the fact that Jason Statham's like, I get it. This is the kind of movie that I can make, and I'm just going to do it. And,
Yeah.
I know who I am and my strengths and weaknesses. So I do really respect that. I do feel like he's sometimes just downselling himself a little bit. And,
Mhm.
and it's easy to say that. I guess, the roles have to be there. The movies have to be there because
Yeah.
there probably is moments where when a role does start to get good enough, suddenly it becomes an elevated action movie and like bigger stars are going, no, I'll do that one. And what we're talking about we still want these movies to be kind of cheesy dumb action movies, like we do want the
Yeah.
elevated action movie, but what we're talking about is, like you said, Commando and Cobra, movies that you laugh at and go, yeah, there's a lot of silliness to this, but that's what sort of makes it wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to come across on this episode as negative because, like I said at the top, I am glad this movie exists, and by all means, Statham, keep making these movies. But like you said, just don't be afraid to crack a smile or make a joke or just go for some ridiculous pun. Like I always think of like Arnold in True Lies when he shoots the guy on the missile. And he's like, "You're fired." Like,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to try it out, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't work, but
He's
if
got
you're
a
gonna go down swinging.
Yeah, Arnold's got 1 million in Commando too. That's maybe what makes
Oh my
Commando
gosh.
so great is
Yeah.
he just I mean, it's not even like always clever lines. Sometimes it's just like, how I told you I was going to kill you last? I
I
lied,
lied.
and then
Yeah.
lets the guy go. Um, anyways, so this one, let's talk a little bit about Rotten Tomatoes score because there's a big chasm in this one between critics and audiences. Critics
Yeah.
gave this one a 51%, audiences 87%. So
Yeah.
not that surprising that there's that big a difference, but uh, considering, I mean, like what it is, it's like a bad crowd pleaser, it's summer popcorn movie, but uh, I get kind of both perspectives. I'm a little surprised audiences are that high on it though.
I mean, I do feel like that's a little high. I'm probably in the middle of the Rotten Tomatoes score and the audience score.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I don't think we need to go crazy and give this almost a 90%, but it's, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of those two.
Yeah, when you start thinking about other movies that are like 87%, you're like, ooh, well, I don't know if it's in that. I don't think it lives in those, in that category.
I don't think so either, but it doesn't mean I'm upset that it has a high audience score because, it's showing me that people are getting what they want out of this movie. Like, you go to this movie, you're not expecting the Odyssey. Like people are apparently satisfied with what they're getting. So,
Yeah. One other positive about this movie is that very, very quick run time, just an hour and 35 minutes. This
yes,
movie, it's like we're going to get in, accomplish what we need to, which is kind of funny because you're not wrong when you said it sort of like feels like they bloated the plot a little bit. But once they finally get to the action, I mean,
yeah,
it's like 35 minutes of setup and then an hour of action and then we're done.
yep.
Something like that.
Yep. Yep, I always support movies like this having that around 90-minute runtime.
Yep. Can you tell us anything about the finances of this movie, Andy? What it cost and what it's doing at the box office?
So I did have a hard time finding what it cost. Maybe I just didn't look long enough and hard enough. It made $7.5 million this week in US. I don't know, man. It's really hard. I still think we're feeling the Odyssey Spider-Man effect, because those are just both putting up astronomical numbers. But yet, part of me also thinks that this probably would have done that really no matter what it opened up against. So I don't
Yeah.
even know I didn't even see a number posted yet for worldwide. I just know 7.5 million US. So
Yeah, 7.5 million US is all I saw too. I saw 40 million for a budget,
okay.
so that's not, we're not on a great trajectory to make money, that's for
No.
sure.
And that's where my fear comes from, that they're
Yeah.
just eventually going to stop making these movies.
It is interesting though that I feel like the past several Statham movies have come out like in sort of the down seasons of movies. It's sort of counter
Mhm.
programming, and those have largely worked. I think because of that, because there's not a lot of competition, not else going on. People are like, hey, yeah, let's go watch a new dumb action movie. This one it's trying to sort of draft in the wake of two juggernauts, and
Yeah.
clearly, like you said, just wasn't quite wasn't quite enough runway to really make any noise.
It wasn't, but these Statham movies must. I mean, they keep making them. They keep letting this guy do action movies. So, like, they must be these kind of movies too that are probably becoming hits on streaming, which we've talked about before. Neither one of us really understand how to gauge that success. But like, I mean, everything with Hollywood, the bottom line is dollars. So, like, if these movies were just constantly losing millions of dollars, he just wouldn't be able to keep making them.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the way, they're finding some success. So
Yeah. And the thing about the movies too is that they're easy like recommend movies, you know what I mean? Like no one's
yeah,
going to be upset or offended by a Jason Statham movie as I
right.
mean like not even offended's probably too strong of a word, but you know what I mean? Like they kind of know what they're in for, that's easily
Hmm.
digestible. So this weekend I saw three movies in theater. I saw Tony, the new Anthony Bourdain
Hmm.
biopic. I saw Mutiny, and I saw Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. And I was talking to my brother about it, and he was like, which one's the best one? And I said, well, I'll tell you right now, the one that I think you would like most, and I could think Dad would like most, is Mutiny. Like that's pretty
Yeah,
easy. Like
yeah,
I'm not saying it's the best of the three, but it's the easiest one to say. Yeah, you check this one out. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miosa, just steer clear of that. If you're not a movie person, just steer clear of that. Tony, just
sure.
kind of your mileage on biopics. I actually really enjoyed it. So,
Yeah,
but Mutiny is the easiest one for just an average person to say, you want to watch some action? Here's some
yeah,
action.
yeah. That's the thing. Like these movies, just they're accessible to people. Like you said, like I would recommend this movie to my dad. Like I know he would probably go watch it and be like, really liked it. He'd probably give it two thumbs up. He's gonna be 75 years old this year. So yeah, I mean, I know we've said a lot of things, and I probably never even gave like a real clear answer on whether this movie is good or not. But I mean, ultimately, is I do want action movies to keep finding a way and to keep succeeding.
Me too. Well, Andy, we've got about 30 minutes on Mutiny, and I was worried that we wouldn't get an easy 10 out of this movie, but look at us.
I look at us just rambling away. Well, I went on a 5-minute rant about emotions to start us out, so that padded the runtime a little bit.
It just helps that it's a genre that we're passionate about, and or subgenre that I should say that we're passionate about, and we have a lot of feelings and thoughts about it. So
I have a lot of feelings about these. I mean, those these action movies that I reference all throughout this episode, those helped raise me. Like I grew up on those. Like I used to play Commando out in my yard. I had a toy gun and I just pretended that I was John Matrix, just machine gunning down random bad guys, which maybe says a lot about me as a child, but nah, it can't be that. It can't be that. That had to have been normal.
nah, I mean it's perfectly healthy. I think we both turned out okay. I think.
Obviously. Let me throw something at you and see if you think this is a good idea for Statham. Should Statham try to do like his version of Predator? Like take his action movie character and persona and throw it into some kind of like sci-fi type situation, do you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Has he ever even like?
I don't think he's
Say-
done that. And that worked really well for Arnold. That was a great move for
It
Arnold.
was, yeah. Yeah, Statham should do
Yeah.
something like that. I think that'd be a good
Just
idea.
just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, yeah. That or
Yeah.
you know playing, doing something in an ensemble again. Like I hate to refer to it like it's such a great movie, but The Italian Job, where he's part of a team,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
something along those lines, something along the lines of a Ocean's 11 or something, where he could be just one of the guys in the
Mm-hmm.
crew, have a little more personality, interact with other people is really the thing I guess I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Well, Statham, we've given you some ideas, my friend. So
That's right. Yeah. But we salute you. Keep doing what you're doing.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap it up here, do you want to do a Jason Statham impression or anything? I feel like it's weird if we go through this whole.
Oh, I kind of played around with one a little bit, and I just didn't quite get there. I just ended up sounding like Crocodile Dundee a lot. I don't know how that happened. I just couldn't get like
Are you
it
just-
really blew up in my face.
Are you trying to make me want to hear it? It's just no. I walk around the house and I'll just say things randomly in Jason Statham voice, but it's probably terrible. So it's like really hard. Once you feel the pressure of the camera and the microphone, you're like,
Yeah, I just never got there with mine. I'm just going to leave it to Statham to be Statham.
yeah. So that'll do it for our episode. But I will just give a quick tease that if you enjoy our movie duels for this week, our movie duel themes in honor of Jason Statham keeping action alive, we're gonna do some action movie duels. So, you can look forward to those hopefully, and then join us next week when we'll be talking about something. I don't know. I don't even know what comes out next week, Andy.
I don't really know either. I'm still, everything after Odyssey and Spider-Man is just a blur right now.
Yeah.
So we'll find something.
There's things coming out. We'll see something. We'll be back.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll be back. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and then we will see you guys then.
See you soon.